thinks that's a crazy idea. You know, that's part of the problem so many times. People are afraid to put out ideas because they're afraid someone's going to scoff at it. And in fact, it might have a really good gem in it that's worth pursuing.
Speaking of being afraid, a lot of municipal leaders are scared to death of you at this point because they're afraid of your income tax reduction plan, and that what that's going to mean for them is fewer funds for municipal aid, and that they're going to wind up raising property taxes to make up for that. Can you say anything to them, or should they be scared?
Well, I have said to them already that the object in reducing the income tax is not to see the property tax go up, because that puts us in just as uncompetitive a situation as if we hadn't touched the income tax. And property tax right now is a huge burden for many, many people in the state of New Jersey who simply cannot afford it, both young couples starting out, senior citizens on fixed income, and everyone, really. We have a very high property tax. So that's not the object, but there will probably have to be some discipline. Now, many of our cities and municipalities already do a lot to try to control their own expenditures, and we want to work with them to see what we can do from the state government perspective that can make it easier for them. A state mandate, state pay is something that I support, have since I was a freeholder, and would relieve a big burden on many municipalities. Regulatory reform is going to help them in job creation and bringing ratables in. Those are the kinds of things that I want to do with them, and I am not looking to see property taxes go up.
Ms. Whitman, let me ask you a question I've asked the last 2 or 3 governors of New Jersey, and I've never really gotten what seemed like a wonderful answer, so you try it. The budgets of Pennsylvania and New Jersey are roughly the same, about $14 billion each right now. Pennsylvania has about 12 million people. New Jersey has about 7 million. So Pennsylvania is half again as large, and yet has the same budget as New Jersey. Is there any reason that should be the case, or are you suggesting that where you are sitting in Trenton, the government does a better job than where we are sitting in Philadelphia?
Well, no, it would probably be the opposite. The government isn't being as efficient as it could be if we have to take twice as much to serve half as many people. That's part of the problem, though. I mean, one of the things that we have here in this state, as you know, is a great deal of home rule. We have a lot of individual entities that require funding, such as school districts. We have more school districts than we have municipalities in this state. All of that adds to the bottom line. And as we go forward in the next 4 years, we're going to have to take some good hard looks at the way we have positioned ourselves in this state. We also provide a lot of services, and I can't presume to say that Pennsylvania doesn't do a good job for her citizens, but I know that New Jersey certainly does a very complete job. And we do provide some wonderful services, and that may be part of the difference. But I'd have to believe that another great part of it is the fact that we have so many different layers of government, whether it be through education, municipal, county, all the way up, and all those add to the bottom line, and there's some decisions there that the public is going to have to make as we go forward.
The biggest line item, I think, in most state budgets is education.
Right.
I believe it is #1. And the courts have dabbled quite a bit in how you raise the taxes to pay for education in New Jersey. There's now talk, I understand, of possibly having a statewide property tax and then distributing the money to the communities that need it more than other communities. What's your personal feeling, your feeling about how money should be raised and spent to educate young people?
Well, clearly we cannot rely on the property tax as it is currently structured to pay for education. The courts have said that's unconstitutional, and anyone who looks at it at all with an unbiased eye would have to say that's true, because the poorer areas, the areas with less rateable base, simply cannot be expected to provide all the services that they need for their children. And people in the state of New Jersey have been extraordinarily generous in their funding of education, really without a great deal of complaint. All they're asking for is accountability, and to my mind, that's what's been missing. We have got to have accountability in the system. We have got to have standards. And I believe that as we go forward, and if we were to establish core curriculum standards, and then if we were to allow site-based management of schools, charter schools, choice within the public school system, all those kind of innovative approaches, we can do a great deal to reducing the cost of delivery of education in this state. And I also think while I think it would be a great mistake for the state to mandate regionalization, I think there's a great deal that the state can do to encourage regionalization, to work with those school districts that have 500 or fewer pupils, to show them how they can at least regionalize purchasing services and things like that, so that they don't lose total control over a good system, but can also help cutting in costs.
Kathy, we have a minute left.
Mrs. Whitman, are there any particular laws or regulations or executive orders that were put forth by Governor Florio that you are just anxious to not only review but undo when you
Well,
think about
we're looking at several of them, and that will be part, I believe, of the inaugural address. I will address those issues, those executive orders that I want to see revisited or that I want to eliminate.
a little sneak preview? Give
I
us
can't do
one or
that.
two ideas.
We're
of,
still working on the language.
Mark, can we find out if the governor-elect will grant clemency to Taro, that dog in North Jersey, who everyone seems to be worrying
We gotta
about?
stop spending money on this thing. We spent more money on that dog. I have already said that if it were up to me, I would certainly grant clemency because they have gotten all different offers to move the dog out of the state, to put it in the training, to use it in other ways, and it seems to me that that makes a great deal of sense. But I have no role to play in this, unfortunately.
That's one of the first rules of politics, isn't it? You never pick on animals and children, I think.
It also should be that you don't, the other one is that you never take a position if you don't have to. And I just did.
As we're almost out of time, but before we go, we should ask you what you think about the Senate race next year in New Jersey. Any favorite Republicans on your list at this point?
Well, it's certainly going to be a hot one. We don't know who all the Republicans are yet. I mean, I've only heard the two names of Assembly Speaker Haitayan and Senator Gormley from Atlantic County. And I don't know whether, I think we will find that Assembly Leader Haitayan is going to file and move forward. I'm not so sure about Senator Gormley. We'll see at the end of the day.
Do you think that you may have started a Republican swing in the country and that we may see more similar activity next year?
Oh, I certainly hope so.
Not surprised to hear that answer. Thank you very much for joining us. In our Trenton
My
studio
pleasure.
today, Governor-elect Christine Todd Whitman of the state of New Jersey, who on January 18th will be sworn in as the first woman governor of New Jersey. Thanks to Nora Muchanic in Trenton and to Katy Gandolfo here in Philadelphia. For Issues and Answers, I'm Marc Howard. We'll see you next week.
Cadillac Eldorado, the new generation, creating a higher standard of performance. Lease a 94 Eldorado with the acclaimed North Star system for just $499 a month for 24 months. Cadillac Eldorado with the 270 horsepower North Star V8, road sensing suspension, speed sensitive steering, traction control, anti-lock brakes, dual airbags. $499 a month, 24 months, $2,100 down at your Cadillac dealer.
I'm Bob Axelrod, president of Robinson Luggage. This holiday season, my top vendors and I put together groups of merchandise that can save you 30 to 45%.
Now you can save on manufacturers like Hartman, Delsey, Samsonite, and Toomey. For the holidays, we have a great selection of gifts, many under $50. And don't forget backpacks, vertical wheel travelers, and briefcases.
This holiday season, let Robinson Luggage stuff your stocking with great savings.
Isn't this great, PC? We can do our Christmas shopping at CompUSA and no one will even recognize it.
Oh, yeah, but we're very inconspicuous.
So, let's get that NEC 14-inch color monitor. It gives you a clear, sharp image and it's perfect for home or office use. You know, CompUSA offers more than 5,000 computer products.
Including thousands of software titles.
At guaranteed low prices.
Like the MediaVision Fusion Double CD Multimedia Kit.